The movie opens 10 years after the collapse of civilization. With humanity on the brink of extinction, cannibalism has become a desperate means of survival. We're introduced to a young man named Jake and his father Lucas, who moves silently through the woods, hunting for food. Suddenly, they hear a strange noise. It's a wild boar. Both men drop low and begin to crawl toward it. Lucas gets into position, ready to take the shot, but just as he does, the boar bolts. Determined, they follow its blood trail deeper into the woods, but it eventually fades, leaving them with no choice but to turn back. On their way back, they stumble upon a baby's shoe lying on the ground. Curious and cautious, they follow the trail it leads to, eventually discovering a wrecked, abandoned car. Lucas begins scavenging the vehicle for anything useful, while Jake checks the front seat. Lucas finds a lollipop and some pieces of cigarettes, while Jake discovers a biscuit. Rather than share it, he quickly eats it in secret, hiding it when he hears his father approaching. Soon, a pack of feral, hungry dogs can be heard nearby. Lucas and Jake take cover inside the car, staying silent as the snarling animals surround them, sniffing and circling. After several tense minutes, the dogs finally leave, and the two cautiously emerge from the vehicle and continue their trek home. Jake lingers behind and discreetly tosses away the biscuit wrapper to hide what he had eaten from his father. They eventually return to their small hut, what they call home. Inside, Jake's sister lies on a bed, weak and suffering from an infected dog bite. Jake gives her some medication that helps ease the pain and keep her stable. That night, Lucas grinds the tobacco he found from the car into a crude cigarette. He steps outside for a moment of solitude, smoking under the night sky. By morning, Jake wakes up and heads out to the makeshift pit toilet. There, he hears distant rustling, unfamiliar voices and footsteps. Alarmed, he rushes back into the hut. A group of cannibals is approaching. Lucas wakes up, and together with Jake's sister, they grab what they can and flee out the back of the hut. As they run for their lives through the woods, Jake tries to support his ailing sister. In the chaos, he drops their survival bag, the one containing all their crucial supplies, in an attempt to keep her from falling. Lucas hides Jake and his sister inside the pit toilet, urging them to stay silent as he heads out to confront the approaching cannibals. From their hiding spot, Jake and his sister watch helplessly as a violent struggle unfolds. Tragically, Lucas is overpowered and killed by the cannibal group's ruthless leader. Struggling to remain silent, Jake and his sister hold their breath as the cannibals scavenge their hut. They gather up belongings and tie Lucas's lifeless body to a wooden post. The cannibal leader discovers the dropped bag Jake had left behind. Inside is his sister's medicine, which they take before leaving with Lucas's body. As they begin to depart, the leader hears a faint noise coming from the pit. He moves in to investigate, but the overpowering stench deters him, and he walks away. When the danger passes, Jake and his sister return inside. But without her medication, her condition deteriorates rapidly. Desperate and unsure what to do, Jake even considers ending her suffering, but can't bring himself to go through with it. Instead, determined to save her, he locks the door to keep her safe and sets off alone to retrieve the stolen medicine. Jake follows the blood trail the cannibals left behind. Exhausted and freezing, he collapses after some time. Meanwhile, his sister wakes up, realizing Jake is gone. She tries to open the door, but it's too securely locked. Elsewhere, Jake spots a young boy in the distance and gives chase. The boy runs to an abandoned, half-built house where he lives with his grandfather. Jake, desperate and unbothered by their presence, breaks in, grabs some warm clothes, steals the grandfather's jacket and a pair of shoes, and moves on. Deeper in the woods, Jake makes a horrific discovery. His father's body has been burned and eaten by the cannibals. He solemnly buries his father's skull, then climbs a tree in hopes of spotting the cannibals' hideout. But he slips and falls, screaming as he hits the ground. His cries attract a pack of feral wolf dogs. As night falls, Jake scrambles to light a fire using burnt wood remnants. The flames keep the wolves at bay, buying him enough time to survive the night. The next morning, he presses forward and comes across an empty tent. Cautiously, he throws a stone to check for any signs of life. When no one responds, he enters and finds a water bottle, empty, a box of matches, and a small pocket knife. Just then, he hears footsteps. It's the young boy from before. He spots Jake and immediately takes off running. Jake continues his journey through the wilderness until he notices blood flowing through a stream. He follows the trail and spots one of the female cannibals rinsing a bloodied knife in the water. Silently, Jake observes her from a distance. As she walks away, he quietly picks up a rock and follows her back to their hideout, keeping hidden behind a tree to watch her movements. Once she leaves the area, Jake sneaks into the cannibal's home, carefully avoiding any traps. He searches for his sister's medication in the stolen bag, but finds nothing. Desperate, he starts rummaging through drawers. Suddenly, the woman returns and attacks him. Jake dodges her blows, but she gains the upper hand and nearly kills him. In a final act of defense, Jake strikes her with the rock, killing her. Shaken but determined, he searches the cabin once more, but still can't find the medicine. Hearing the other cannibals approaching, Jake wipes the blood off the floor and quickly drags the woman's body outside. He hides behind a tree just in time. Meanwhile, Jake notices that the cannibals have captured the young boy he'd seen earlier. The leader of the group senses something is off. Jake watches as the leader offers another member the same medicine that belonged to Jake's sister and notes where the leader hides it. As the leader walks toward Jake's location, he quietly shifts position to avoid being seen. The leader walks right past him, unaware. Back at Jake's hut, his sister's condition worsens, burning with fever and growing weaker by the minute. While Jake tries to come up with a plan to recover the medicine and save the boy, the leader returns to the stream, suspicious about the missing woman. One of the cannibals heads toward Jake's hiding spot to relieve himself and stumbles upon a weapon Jake had accidentally dropped while moving the body. Realizing there's an intruder, he alerts the group. As the cannibals begin searching the area, Jake finishes hiding the woman's body under dirt. Once the coast is clear, he quietly makes his way back to the hideout. Crawling past the gruesome sight of half-eaten corpses, Jake sneaks inside. One of the wounded cannibals complains about his discomfort outside. Seizing the moment, Jake rushes to untie the young boy, but the boy starts yelling. One of the cannibals inside initially ignores the noise, but eventually comes to investigate. Just in time, Jake hides with the boy, and when the boy runs off, a cannibal chases after him. Jake reemerges and attempts to open the box where the medicine is kept, but it's locked. Before he can try further, the rest of the group returns. Jake quickly hides beneath the cabin as the cannibals arrive in chaos. They discover the boy is missing, someone has tampered with the box, and later, they find the body of their fallen comrade. Meanwhile, back at Jake's hut, his sister is on the brink of death, suffering in silence as she clings to life. As night falls, the cannibals perform a ritual to mourn their fallen comrade and burn her body. The next morning, Jake wakes up determined to retrieve the medicine for his sister. Quietly, he sneaks into the cannibals' cabin while they're still asleep. He lights a match for visibility and carefully approaches their leader, managing to cut off the box key hanging around his neck without waking him. Outside, he attempts to open the box but drops the key. He quickly picks it up, unlocks the box, and finds the much-needed drugs. Jake then quietly locks the cabin door from outside and starts to run, only to accidentally trigger a trap that wakes the cannibals. He grabs his bag and sprints into the woods. Inside the cabin, the leader smashes the door open and the cannibals quickly mobilize to chase after Jake. Back at the hut, Jake's sister is awakened by the distant howls of wolf dogs approaching. Soon, the animals arrive and begin barking, trying to find a way inside the hut. Meanwhile, during the chase, one of the injured cannibals falls behind to rest, but the leader, showing no mercy, kills him. Jake reaches a steep hill and climbs up, with the cannibals hot on his trail. One manages to grab Jake, but he shakes him off and slides down the slope. As he escapes, an arrow narrowly misses him. Rain begins to fall as Jake finally finds shelter in the abandoned house where the young boy and his grandfather had stayed. Following fresh wolf dog tracks, Jake discovers the grandfather's body, eaten by the wild animals. On his way back home, Jake is ambushed from behind by the cannibals and knocked out with a hammer. He wakes up tied up at their outpost, where the cannibals are preparing a fire to burn him alive. Thinking fast, Jake spots a whistle nearby and blows it, drawing the wolf dogs to the scene. As the animals rush in, the cannibals scatter in panic. Jake frees himself. One of the female cannibals twists her ankle trying to flee, while Jake hides behind a fallen tree. The wolves pass by him unnoticed. In the chaos, the leader sacrifices one of his own by slicing her leg, allowing the wolves to catch her while he escapes. Jake grabs some clothes, disguises himself, and runs. By the time the cannibals return, Jake is gone. With only 3 of them left, they decide to split up and follow his blood trail. Exhausted, Jake collapses and rests for a moment. One of the cannibals spots him and approaches, but Jake ambushes him from above, killing him in a fierce struggle. Jake then takes his jacket to blend in. As another cannibal approaches with an arrow drawn, Jake quickly turns and kills him too. Continuing on, Jake finally encounters the cannibal leader. The leader shoots an arrow, narrowly missing. When he tries to fire again, the bowstring snaps. The two prepare for a knife fight, but the distant growls of the wolf dogs interrupt. Jake takes off running, while the leader is left behind, ultimately caught by the wolves. After wandering through the woods, Jake discovers an old house. Inside, he finds the owner's lifeless body and a gun. Venturing further, he's stunned to find a well-maintained, furnished home, everything he's longed for. On the table sits another gun with bullets. He drinks fresh water, fills a bottle, and gathers some canned food. As he explores the house, he hears footsteps. It's the cannibal leader, still alive. Jake grabs the gun and pulls the trigger, but it's empty. A brutal fight breaks out. The leader overpowers Jake and slams him to the floor, attempting to strangle him. Jake fights back, knocks him off, and finally grabs the gun, this time loaded, and shoots him in the head. With the threat eliminated, Jake rushes to check on his sister. On the way, he leaves food for the young boy. Upon arriving at the hut, he finds the door open and his sister missing. Panic sets in, until she appears from behind and gently touches him. The movie ends. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more movie recaps.